With factory radios being tougher to replace, plus the fact that these radios come with many sought-out features, it's becoming less common to change out OEM head units. Upgrading your stereo system now starts at adding an amplifier instead of swapping out the radio. With this in mind, many amp manufacturers include high-level inputs. But that section of the amp lacks many good features that good LOC line-out converters come with. So Wavtech, makers of high-quality line-out converters, has recently released amplifiers with the focus on the high-level input side. Now Nick over at Wavtech described these as amplified line-out converters. Interesting approach. So stay with us as we take a look at Wavtech's new amplifier line. Hey, what's up? It's Josh over at Breaker Stereo and Performance. Now welcome to our channel that reviews and goes over all the best in-car audio, suspension, performance, and more. Because we don't drive stock. And if stock doesn't cut it for you, then make sure to subscribe to this channel for all the latest. Now Wavtech has been making products to improve the audio experience with SKUs like the Link 6, Link 8, and the Bass Restorator. Now these products take the audio signal and clean it up or enhance it before it gets into the amplifier. Now they have taken their technology and decided to make amplifiers, starting with a 300 watt 4-channel and a 500 watt mono amplifier, with a 1000 watt mono amplifier soon on its way. So in this video, we'll be talking about all the great features these amps have along with their specs. Then we'll do an unboxing to see what they come with. And finally, we'll install these amps and take a listen to them. So let's get started. And let's start with the 4-channel first. Now the model number is Link 300.4 Mini. And what makes this 4-channel special is it basically has a Link 4 built into it. Now the Link 4 is an LOC or line-out converter that does have summing capabilities. Now this gives you the ability to take, let's say, the tweeter input and a mid-range input and put them together, or sum, to create a full range signal. Now on the amplifier, you can see we have adjustments. We can set to 1 and 2, 3 and 4, or combine them together 1, 2, and 3 and 4. So a real-world application would be, let's say you had a Dodge Ram with a set of 2 3/4 on the dash and a set of 6x9s in the door. Now you could take the signals from those speakers and sum them together to get a nice full range signal. And just like the Link 4, you're able to adjust the signal coming in using the trim level. Now, if you got too much bass and not enough high frequencies, then you can turn one down and one up for a more balanced input. Now think about it. Now this amplifier comes with a Link 4, and on its own, a Link 4 retails for $159, and this amplifier is only $299. So for only $140 more, you get a full 4-channel amplifier. Pretty good. Now let's talk more about the OEM integration features. Now the input range is up to 40 volts. So if you have a vehicle that has a factory amplifier and you need to grab the signal off that amp, you can go up to 40 volts without damaging it. If you're trying to use a standard high-low adapter that cannot take that voltage, it will fail or cause damage to the unit. Now this amp also has signal sense turn-on. Now since OEM radios don't normally have an amp turn-on wire, you don't have to worry about finding an accessory or an ignition. Also, this has the stop-start feature, which is if your vehicle shuts down at a stoplight, your amplifier will not. And because the inputs are the standard Link inputs, you're able to use the inline resistors. If you drive a vehicle like a Mopar that needs resistance in order for the signal to continue to come through. Okay, that covers that. Now let's look at some of the specs. This is 50 watts RMS times 4 at 4 ohms and 75 watts times 4 at 2 ohms. You do have built-in crossovers adjustable from 50 Hz up to 500 Hz with high and low pass filters. Now the amp is extremely small. It's 7.5 inches wide by 1 3/4 height and 4 9/16 deep, and takes a 4-gauge power and ground wire. Okay, that'll do it for the 4-channel. Let's move on to the monoblock. Now this is the Link 500.1 Mini. This amplifier has the same input range up to 40 volts, has stop-start technology and signal sensing. Now there's no summing feature, but that's definitely not needed when you're doing a monoblock amplifier for bass. But what it does have, it has a parametric EQ built into it. Now Wavtech used to sell something called a Bass Freak. And what they did is they put it in this amplifier. Now the parametric EQ allows you to pick the frequency in which you want to boost, and then pick the width, either narrow or wide, and then gives you a boost up to 12 dB. Now that will increase the output or volume of the subs that you're running. Now when they sold the Bass Freak, it was $149 by itself. This amplifier has that feature built in and costs only $299. So you get lots of bang for your buck with these amplifiers. Great job, Wavtech, for bringing us great value at a reasonable price. Now, the only thing is this, is the monoblock amplifier does not come with the bass knob. So if you want a bass knob, they sell it and it's about 30 bucks. All right, so here are the specs for the monoblock amp. It is 300 watts times 1 at 4 ohms, but normally you're not gonna be running at that. You're gonna be running it at 2 ohms, in which case it will give you 500 watts RMS. It does have a subsonic filter between 10 hertz and 50 hertz, and a low pass filter between 50 hertz and 500 hertz. And this amplifier will accept up to 4 gauge for both power and ground. And the dimensions are about 9.5 wide, 1 3/4 tall, and about 4.5 deep. Okay, let's do some unboxing. All right, let's start with the 300, since we started with that one first. All right, of course we have our manual. And here's the amplifier. So this thing is nice and compact. I really love that design. And then we also have here some Allen wrenches and some screws, okay? All right, so let's just take a look at the pots on the top. We talked about this before, but we have our inputs here. The channels 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 basically are the same. So here you can go 1 and 2 together, or you can sum 1 and 2 plus 3 and 4. And then our input range up to 40 volts. Our gain, of course, the crossovers, high or low pass, the crossover frequency between 50 and 500, and then the trim level, and that's what we talked about earlier. So you have an adjustable trim level between -6 and +6 dB. All right, the same thing on the bottom. We have our 4 gauge inputs on this side, speaker outputs here, high level inputs here. Now, if you are running a aftermarket amplifier, you can use low level as well. All right, so that's that. Let's take a look at the monoblock amp next. Owner's manual, you have the same Allen wrenches that come with it. And then the amp. So this one is a little bit bigger. So 500 watts RMS at 2 ohms. All right, so it's still pretty small though. I mean, it's a nice little matchup here. Nice little setup with your high level inputs all built in. So nice and compact design here, love that. All right, so let's take a look at the top. Range input up to 40 volts. Our Bass Freak, so they actually put the Bass Freak logo on there. And your parametric EQ, you have your bass boost up to 12 dB. Your width, narrow to wide. And then frequency, which you want to boost between 30 and 80 hertz. And then your subsonic filter between 10 and 50 hertz. And then your low pass filter between 50 and 500 hertz. So here, 4 gauge inputs. All right, they're your speaker outputs. High level input here, and also, of course, your low level input as well. On this one, you also have the RCA ends. You can choose either balanced or unbalanced. Okay, so this is a 2022 Kia Seltos, and on the radio, this is not something that you want to change. You got the big screen, you've got a backup camera, it's got a lot of things going on. So in this case, this would be the ideal situation where you want to leave the factory radio because it's already pretty good, and we just want to improve the sound. As far as speakers are concerned, we got the blem separates in the front, and these are the RS Relax, and also the coaxials in the rear, 6.5s all the way around. And in this case, we didn't necessarily need to sum the channels together because we had a tweeter that was tied in to the front line. So we went high level in for the front and then high level in for the back. No summing, just straight through because we didn't need it. Okay, in the rear for subwoofer, we have an L7 that handles 750 watts. On this amp is only 500 watts. So we are underpowering it, but it is in a ported enclosure. So it's going to be more efficient. So it should be just fine. Okay, so let's take a listen. Now, I definitely feel we have enough volume. Now, just as a disclaimer, these are the blam speakers, so they are 2 ohms, so we're actually getting 75 watts to each corner here out of the amplifier. If they were 4 ohm, which most speakers are, it's going to be 50 watts, okay? So the amp is on the low side as far as power is concerned, but normally 50 watts is good to run a set of like lower to mid-grade separates and coaxials. As far as the bass is concerned, we've got plenty of bass, but it sounds good as well. Okay, so let's try some different music. So on this Eric Clapton song, it actually sounds pretty good. I was a little apprehensive only because Wavtech has never made amplifiers before, but they did a pretty good job here. Definitely like what I hear so far. Okay, let's move on to some hip hop. Okay, sounds really good. Front stage sounds excellent. Got that rear stage going. But the bass is what I really wanted to listen to on these particular hip hop songs. So the bass has definitely got enough bass, even though that woofer is 750 watts, definitely got enough bottom end. So I'm really happy with the way these amplifiers sound. Okay, overall, I love the idea that they integrated the Link 4 into the 4 channel and put a parametric EQ on the monoblock amp. Now, personally, I haven't seen a parametric EQ on a monoblock amp since the JL Audio 500/1, which is one of my personal favorite best amplifiers in that 500 watt range. So to see that feature on this amp is a great sign. Now, I know many of you guys may not have heard of Wavtech, but we've been carrying their products for many years, and they produce great sounding, reliable products, and I would anticipate that these will be no different. When they first announced they were making these amps, I was expecting them to be in that $400 range, and was surprised to see them come out at only $299. Again, these are excellent deals with many great audio features. Now, if you're interested or you want to learn more about these amplifiers, make sure to check out our website. We'll leave links in the description below, taking you directly to each product page. Now remember, we do have financing available. Simply add to cart, pick a financing option, get approved, and we'll send your gear out to you ASAP. Okay, again, my name is Josh. I'm with Breaker Stereo and Performance. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.